Welcome back, riff warriors and tone junkies, to part 2 of the FRANKENCAB saga. If you missed part 1 where we stitched this monstrosity together, I recommend going and watching it, and why we selected the EMINENCE DV77 speaker along with the HESU Demon inside the Seismic 212 cab. We've got our mic set up at a good starting point. Got a correlation meter opened up on an output channel of both of these mics where we can keep an eye on any phasing gremlins. We're gonna grab the axe, lay down a performance for a DI track, send it all the way back through to FRANKENCAB and capture this beast. And more than likely, we're gonna stack that same performance and maybe even do some fills. Let's get into the control room and start this process. All right. I've got a project here I shelved a while back. It was one I wasn't quite happy with. Frankly, it was a tonal snooze fest. This A standard tuning should fit right in the ballpark where we need with the bass and the drums. The FRANKENCAB's fixing to turn that big yawn into a full-on sonic apocalypse. Now, since I'm planning on stacking this performance, I'm gonna keep my gain at a moderate level because cumulatively the gain will build, and you can always add more gain, but it's nearly impossible to take it away. I'm gonna lay the DI track down on this. I'm going to put amplitude 5 on the DI output just for reference. I'm gonna record the DI, then I'm going to turn off the plugin, the amplitude plugin, and you pretty much have a straight DI track that we can send to the reamp box, and from there we can tweak mics and get some tone. I'm using the ESP LTD M400B baritone. We've taken it from a B standard tuning, dropped it down to an A standard tuning. So let's capture that track right now. All right, we've got the DI track captured. I'm going to turn off the amplitude plugin and let's have a listen. It's the musical equivalent of unseasoned chicken. Pitiful, boring tone, but that's what we want for reamping. It's all about capturing the performance, even if it does expose my limited guitar skills. We're gonna send this DI track now to the reamp box, to the pedal board, to the Delisle amp and cabinet selector, which I've already selected the Ingle Savage. It's time to wake the beast. Might even toss in a pedal or two on the pedal board. If the FRANKENCAB demands it, it's gonna demand it. I've got Frank mic'd up like a rock star, as you've seen. The EMINENCE DV77 gets the Shure SM57 to capture its punchy, in-your-face mids, because the speaker is basically the Tony Stark of clarity. The HESU DEMON, with its beefy lows, gets the AKG C414. It can handle the low-end rumble like a champ. Shout out to YouTuber Ookie Spooky, who built this same insane cabinet. And he swore by the Roswell Mini K67X as one of the mics that he prefers to capture this unholy combination. And since the AKG C414 has similar characteristics, I figure why not? Science. Both mics are running through the Universal Audio Unison preamps. And I've got a correlation meter set up on the output bus of these two mics. So that way we can keep an eye on any phasing gremlins, because nothing says metal like aligned waveforms. You ready to hear this beast roar now that we've got our DI? Let's do this. Here's the setup. Let's hit record and see what this monster can do. Holy riffgasm. That's the FRANKENCAB, folks. It's like a freight train in a thunderstorm had a baby, and that baby is pissed off. And that HESU Demon delivering low solo, it'll show up on the Richter scale. And that DV77's cutting through with precision on those mids. I'm pretty sure my studio foundation wants a divorce. I know it's been a hot minute since we released the FRANKENCAB part 1 of this saga, and this being part 2. But what happened in the Utah at UVU was a gut punch to our country, and my heart just sank and wasn't into doing any studio work or creativity. But I'm back with more vigor than a cup of coffee with 2 shots of espresso or a pit bull chasing a squeaky toy. Since we left off, I managed to come back in, track a stack to our original rhythm that we've already heard, reamp it back through the FRANKENCAB, and also added some fills using the FRANKENCAB. So that way we got a nice wide stereo sound. Let's see what kind of damage we did. All right, we're back with an additional stack of this DI, because one DI track through the FRANKENCAB is like eating one potato chip. It's kind of pointless. We've done some post-editing on this, added in some fills, a touch of EQ to carve out that perfect pocket, and a bit of reverb to make it sound like we're riffing in a haunted cathedral. Let's hear it. Boom! The lows are crushing. This is one of the tones the FRANKENCAB can deliver. And it's ready to make your next mix sound like it was forged in the fires of Mount Doom. So there you have it, the FRANKENCAB, alive and kicking, harder than a mule on Red Bull. If you want to see how this beast came together, check out part 1. Smash that like button if you think this cab could wake up a coma patient. Subscribe for more tone-chasing madness. Drop a comment below. Tell me what's the heaviest tone you've ever chased. Come on, let's be honest. Thanks for sticking with me through the delay. Let's keep the riffs heavy and the spirits heavier. Peace out.